Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Badanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye Dorbiryukta Chaturbir Spatikamaнимayi Makshamalam Dadhana Naikena Padmam Sitamapi Shukam Pustakam Chaparena Bhasa Kundendu Shankaspadikamani Bhasamana Samana Same Vagdevateyam Nivasatu Vadane Sarvada Suprasanna Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmike Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shunvan Rama Kathanadam Konayati Param Gatim Goshpati Kritavarashim Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Nilatmajam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakāñjalim Bāshpavari Paripurnalochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Vaidehi Sahitam Suradrumatale Haime Mahamandape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manimaye Virasane Sustitam Agre Vachayati Prabhanjana Sute Tattvam Munibhya Param Vyakhyantam Bharatadibi Parivritam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai Chatasyai Janakatmajayai Namostu Rudrendra Yamanilebhyo Namostu Chandrarkamarudganebhyah Harihi Om. Okay, so we have come to the most important part of Aranyakandam now. Last time when we met, we stopped at that point where Shurpanaka's nose and ears were cut. She goes back to his brother Khara and Dushna, and Khara initially took it very lightly. He said, it's okay. So Shurpanaka tried to provoke him, saying, your staying here is worthless, clear this place and get lost. So more and more she said like that. I think Khara was infuriated. So he vows to avenge the insult to Shurpanaka. I think that's where we stop. We will see about 8-9 sargas quickly today. And today, it's all about, this is one of the important reasons why Aranyakanda was there. Rama kills 14,000 demons in one shot, alone, actually. He kills 14,000 demons. He kills Trishura and Khara and Dushana. This is the most important part of Aranyakanda. If you remember, I said there is one central message in Aranyakanda, and that is goodness is very important, but goodness must be able to be protected. Otherwise, the goodness will have its own challenge. So far we saw how much of violence these demons have been unleashing on the rishis. They were just in the forest. They were not disturbing anyone. They were doing the rituals, whereas these fellows were simply unleashing a lot of violence. So the message here Valmiki gives is goodness has to be protected. Goodness must have the capacity to be also protected. That gets expressed through Rama. We also remember, in fact, Sita was not for this violence. Sita said, first time she said, I don't think I'm advising you, but I want to tell you we have come as an ascetic. You have no business to unleash violence. Please think about it. Why are you taking? He said, I'm now going to take my bows and arrows. Sita said, no. Then Rama gave a reply, all that we saw. That is going to happen today. And there are some, before Rama kills Khara, there is one conversation. It's very important. I have taken some 5-6 shlokas from there. Because there is the message there. It's not just about killing Khara and Dushana. What does last class we ended by prototyping who is Khara and who is Shurpanaka. They are not characters elsewhere. They are part of our life in some ways. So today also we will see, because those conversations, the kind of things that these people did, and what did Rama say before saying, I'm going to tear you into pieces? Rama was ferocious. That we are able to see by the kind of things. He unleashed heartless violence, if I have to use a word, without any heart. But before that, he said a few things. And it is a sort of a Dharma Prachara. If you really see, yes, sir. If you really see, it is Dharma Prachara. He establishes some principles of Dharma by way of saying a few things as to why he is going to kill him. I think that's an interesting part. So we will see that part of Aranyakanda. The Valmiki has brought that niti, that important principle into our attention. So we stopped in the 21st Sarga last time, and as Shurpanaka has provoked so much Khara, so Khara is so much provoked now. So he says, get the 14,000 demons. I will make, he owes that I will make sure that I will kill these people. That is this Sarga. 26 verses, short Sarga. So the first 12 shlokas are that Khara says, I will kill Rama and make my sister happy. She wanted to drink the fresh blood of Rama, the proti, fresh blood of Rama. That's what she says, that I will make it happen for him, for her. And he tells Dushana, get the 14,000 armies ready, we will fight. That is the first 12 shlokas. Then 13th to 19th, the entire army along with Khara and Dushana marches towards Janastha, from the Janastha to the place, because Rama had a hermitage on the banks of Godavari, somewhere near that. So they are all marching towards that. So all those descriptions are there. So there's not much in this Sarga. I just wanted to give a continuity of discussion. So the army marches. The army is very happy. Now we are going to really go and fight. So they are all quite enthusiastic. And the army moves towards this thing, where Rama is. 23rd Sarga, 35 verses. See, every now and then we are reminded that Valmiki is the Adi Kavi. How? Because the descriptions he gives are absolutely kavya. In this particular Sarga, he talks about omens. You should see the kind of things that Valmiki has said there. So many things he has said, actually. The first 15 shlokas is vivid description of what kind of bad omens. For example, he says that the cloud formation on the sky looked like a donkey, and the water that it poured were all red like blood, like this. Then it said how the sun and the stars looked as though they are falling, although it was a daytime. This is another kind of a description. Then it says the female jackal was making so much noise, which is a clear indication of loss in the battle. There's another description. There are 15, 16 of them. How the water in the river and the lakes, the fishes and the aquatic animals are hidden deep into the bottom of the, they were not on the surface. They had gone below. The wind was not blowing in a very conducive way. It was like a Chandamaruta. It was like a more or less a ferocious wind that was blowing. So like that, he describes so many omens, saying all these are pointing to some great calamity. So, these where you'll see the Kavya, the Kavi, Valmiki. It's all very poetic sort of descriptions. And that's the first 15 shlokas. And shlokas 16 to 24, Khara ridicules all these omens. This is what is called Vinasha Kale Viparita Buddhi. In fact, when somebody is at the verge of getting destroyed, I mean, it applies to all of us. I mean, the kind of destruction may be small, big, that's not the issue. When we are at the verge of destruction, it happens because our ahankara has overpowered everything, and we fail to see the buddhi doesn't work. So the nitya anitya vastu viveka will go. This is what happens to even small things. The same thing happens. So this Khara ridicules all these omens and says Rama is just a human being. In fact, throughout Valmiki Ramayana, you'll see it. In the Sundarakanda, you'll see it from now, because so far this adversity has not happened. The scene is moving only now. You will see it in Sundarakanda. You will, Rama says, Gatayushaha, Manushaha Gatayushaha. He is Astiva Nastiva. We don't even know whether this fellow exists or not. This is how he tells to Sita. And many places in Ramayana, Ravana says he is Manusha. Manusha means he's not saying human being. He's saying with contempt, he useless fellows. Same thing he says here. He is a useless human being. We are all Rakshasas. So he says, in Sundarakanda, when all these, after our Sita was not ready in the, Ashokavana, then Ravana says, convert her to all those Rakshasis they are there. So they all say that, what is this Rama? They are all human beings. He is a Rakshaseswara. Everywhere it comes again and again. In Yuddhakanda also, Ravana says, slowly he starts changing. Slowly he starts changing, but until then, they ridiculed Rama as a worthless creature. This is the cause of the first destruction. Here also he says that he is a human being. I'll just eliminate him. What is that? These omens are for him. That's how he justified these omens. Then, Sarga also says all the gods assembled there, Siddhas and Devatas, Gandharvas, they want to know what, they are also getting curious. What is going to happen here? But they are all very concerned about this nonsense going on in Janasthana for quite some time. So out of curiosity, they have all sort of assembled there. Look at a few shlokas, then you get a sense of what is this Khara's ahankara. Okay? He says, Mahot pataniman sarvan uttitan gora darshanan na chintayam yaham viryat balavan durbalaniva. Mahat utpatitan, mahot patitan iman sarvan. These omens are all just too much. The writing seems to be very clear on the wall. Mahat utpatitan, mahotpatitan iman sarvan uttitan gora darshanan. These bad scenarios that they are seeing all the time. Correct? On seeing all these, what did Khara say? Na chintayami aham. Durbalaniva. Like a weak fellow, this is not going to affect me. This will affect only a weak fellow. Durbalan iva na chintayamaham. Why? Viryat balavan. I am mighty fellow. So all these omens don't mean anything to me. All these are for the other fellows. That's what he says. He says, na chintayamiham viryat balavan. Durbalan iva na chintayami. I am not that faint-hearted, weak fellow. So all these gora darshanaha. Goradashanan, Sarvan, Iman, Mahotpatitan, Utitan, all those are fine. He just dismissed. He did not see a word of caution in all these. This is what happens to us when we are at the cusp of doing a foolish thing. You may think about it later. All the right, every time the signal is there, we just miss the signal, because that is what happens. We miss the signal, we misinterpret it, we ignore it, we push it under the carpet. All that happens because that means there is an impending disaster of whatever magnitude going to happen. That is what it is actually pointing to. Then he says what he says, we just see a few shlokas later. He says, Deva Rajamapi Kruddaha Mattairavatayayinam Vajrahastam Rane Hanyam Kim Punastau Kumanusho. He says Kumanusho. Ku means bad. The Upasarga Ku means bad in Sanskrit. Okay, that is one of the meaning. Kubuddhi. Kuputro Jayeta Kochitapi Kumatana Bhavati. There is one Devi Aparatha Kshamapana Stotra, in which Adi Shankara says, Kuputro Jayeta. I have heard of bad son. Kumata na bhavati. Bad mother I have never heard. Kuputro jayeta kochitapi kumata na bhavati. So ku is bad. He says ku manusho. Yeah, useless fellows. This was the starting point of the entire disaster of Ravana and his company. When we are not able to assess the strength of the enemy, we have lost the battle already. That is a rule of the reality. If there is an adversarial thing, we should exercise a great deal of thinking, which is not hasty. If in a time of adversity, if we have lost our buddhi, that vichara, that is the starting. We already lost the game even before we start. So he uses the word kumanusho. Punaha tau kunam, what to think of these people. Punaha is actually what to think of. What to think of these two people. These are Duyavachana. Duyavachana because Rama and Lakshmana. Two of them are there. So punaha tau kumanusho. Before that, what does he say? He says Devarajamapi. This is Indra. Matti Airavata Yayinam. One who comes in is this mighty Airavata and Vajrahastam with this Vajra in his hand. Even that fellow, when I am angry, Kruddaha mat Rane Hanyam. If I am angry, I will kill them. I will even kill this Indra in the war. What to talk of these two useless fellows? That's what he says about Rama and Lakshmana. He says, Punastau Kumanusho. In fact, the destruction has started here. If we are in any kind of adversity, in any kind of a difficult situation, if we have lost the opportunity to assess and analyze the situation with a balanced mind, we have lost it already. The chances of recovery is very less. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. So I think this is the message here. We have to be extraordinarily alert when times of adversity, when times of tension, we need to stay back. We need to step back, because that can cause the destruction even before the act starts, even before the act hasn't started. He has only seen the omen. Even now he has grossly underestimated the other side, and out of ahankara, that I am so powerful, what will happen? I can even kill Indra. What to talk of this fellow? This is this undoing of himself that Khara has done. So Rama also sees the same omen anyway, right? So there are 37 verses. Rama sees the bad omens, and Rama tells Lakshmana, all these omens are actually indicative of Kshatriya Nasha, of bad people. He analyzed the omen and he says these omens are all in these sakunas are indicating that some bad people are going to eliminate, which means those people have not understood their end has come. The end has come for them, because these omens are all indicating that bad people are going to be eliminated. These are the meanings of these omens and so on. Then what Rama does is, there are a couple of shlokas. Valmiki says, see, this is the charm of Valmiki. As he narrates the story, as he carries the story, in between there are one or two shlokas he put, which are all lokaniti for us. So he says, in times of danger, what should you do? I didn't bring those slokas, but there are a couple of slokas. He says, in times of danger, you have to act a little ahead of the impending danger and take a few steps. So two slokas like that Valmiki puts. These are all generic principles, nothing to do with the story. These are lokaniti. So Valmiki says those two slokas. Then he says, therefore, he calls Lakshmana and says, Lakshmana, you are a great warrior. Not that you are not a great warrior, but I want to finish all these fellows alone. It is very important. You take Sita, take your weapons, take Sita, go and hide in a place which is difficult to find. That much of precaution he gives. Go and hide in a place which is difficult to find, in a cave or somewhere. He gives that instruction. Then Lakshmana immediately, agrees to that. And he says, go and hide in a place which is covered by trees and caves so that it's difficult to find. So that instruction he gives. In the meanwhile, these Gandharvas and Devas are seeing a large number of people are coming, right? And Rama is alone. So how is he going to handle? They were very curious. They are anxious actually. And those kinds of descriptions are there. And then finally, the chapter ends by saying Rama is all set. He picks up all his bows and arrows and he is got into that ferocious mode. He is all set to sort out the issue now. That's how the sarga ends. The next sarga, Rama kills. So initially, all these fellows come. In fact, in these next 3-4 sargas, I am reminded, I put that as the title of the slide. In chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, in which he talks about the best in class, he says, Ramaha Shastra Vrita. That's what he says. Rama is the best of the archers that you see in these 4 slokas, in these 4 sargas. The way Valmiki describes how he made use of his bow and arrow, very interesting to see. A lot of slokas are there. That's what I saw in these next 4 sargas. So, first 10 verses, description of how Khara and the demons are attacking Rama with their weapons. In fact, they are raining spears and arrows, and those kinds of descriptions are all there. How they are constantly throwing so many things. They are uprooting trees and throwing, those kinds of descriptions are there. And then the description follows in the next 18 slokas. What kind of skill that Rama displayed and killed a vast number of the demons. So those descriptions are there. And so the number of demons come down. So first they run away. Then Dushana is there. So under the support and refuge of Dushana, they come back. And then they actually attack again Rama. All those descriptions are there. And at the end of the sarga, Valmiki says there is just piling up of bodies, because Rama was extraordinarily superior in his archery skill. He just finished them in a very tactful way, and all that Valmiki says here. So some shlokas we will see just to get a sense of what it is. Tera me sharavarshani vyasrijan rakshasam ganah shailendra darabihi varshamana mahagana. Here is a description of how the demons are actually throwing their weapons at Rama. It says, stay, those people, right? Rakshasam ganaha, te rakshasam ganaha, this group of people belonging to the Rakshasas, te rakshasam ganaha, vyasrijan, they were dropping. So srij is to drop. So vyasrijan is dropping, meaning they're putting the arrows, releasing the arrows or weapons or whatever. Vyasrijan, sharavarshani, a rain of arrows. Varsha is rain. Sharavarshani is a rain of arrows. They were just, because there's so many of them, they were just, throwing arrows at Rama. How was it? He says, Valmiki says, Shailendra miva. It's like a mountain of arrows. Shailendra miva darabihi varshamana mahaganaha. Varshamana Mahagana, it's like a, a huge cloud pouring. Actually, see, clouds, as you know, that's what we are seeing now. Clouds always condense in the mountains. That's why, our Malanadu, Jasti Ahidega. There's a lot of rain. It's all clouds actually condense and heavily pour only in a mountain. So that is the Upama he has taken. He says Mahaganaha is great clouds which hit at the mountain and then pour like a cloud burst. Right? So it says Shailendra Miva. Shailanam Indraha, which means Indra, the word Indra is used not as only for Devas. Indra means in Sanskrit, Indra means Lord or King. So Shailendra means great mountain. That's the idea. Lord of mountain means very huge mountain, like Himalayas or Meru or something. So Shailendra Miva Darabihi, just like pouring water, just like a huge cloud burst pouring a lot of water into the mountain. In the same way, the demons are putting all the arrows. It was just raining arrows. So that's how he describes. These are all kavya, right? So he describes it in a very dramatic way. Then, tani muktani shastrani yatudanaihi saragavaha prati jagraha vishikaihi nadyogani vasagaraha. Now Valmiki used another upama to say how did Rama handle it. First he said that these arrows are all like pouring like a huge rain in a huge mountain. Now he says Tani, Shastrani, right? Sharavashani, the rain of arrows. That is the Tani. Tani Shastrani Mukyat Yatudanaihi. That were thrown by these Rakshasas. Yatudanas are Rakshasas. That's a synonym for Rakshasa. Yatudanaha, Nishacharaha. They don't sleep. They are, I think Rakshasas are wake up in the night. So that's what we say, Nishachara, right? So Tani Muktani Yatudanaihi Tani Shastrani Sahara Raghava Muktani. He was able to get rid of all of them. Raghava is able to get rid of all of them. How? The second line he says, Pratijagraha means he counterbalanced it or counter-attacked it. That's the meaning. Prati is the counter, Jagraha is to sort it out, nullify it. He counter-nullified the whole thing. How? Vishikaihi, with his arrows, stream of arrows. And how did he do it? He says, Nadya Udaga Uga Nadyoganiva Sagaraha. When a huge river enters into the ocean, by its sheer strength, the ocean actually slows it down. No? It may have so much of vitality while as a river, but when it comes to the ocean, it is all subdued. Because here is a mighty force. Just like a mighty ocean can just like that stop a river. However big, however ferocious it may be, it is just nullified. I mean, that's the feeling we get when you go and see, at the delta of the river. You find that with all its ferocious running, it becomes very silently going in. All its speed is stopped. So Valmiki uses that kind of simile here, and he says, as though a gushing river is simply stopped by a great ocean. In the same way, Rama, when they were putting all that, he counter-attacked and then sorted it out and nullified it just like that. So that is what is being told here. Vishedurdeva Gandharvaha Siddhascha Paramarshayah Ekam Sahasre Bahubihi Tada Drishtva Samavritam. Deva Gandharvaha Siddhascha. They all have come there. Devas, Gandharvas, and Siddhas. Deva Gandharvaha Siddhascha Paramarshayah. The great rishis also. There were so many of them were there. They were all disturbed like anything. So Paramarshayah Siddhascha Deva Gandharvaha Visheduhu. They were little anxious. They were little, I sad. Somebody wrote sad. It cannot be sad. It should be anxious. They were very anxious. Why? Because Ekam, Ramaha tu Ekaha. Ekam Sahasrehi Bahubihi. He is seeing one person here and thousands on the other side. So they got very anxious, curious as to what is going to happen now, right? Because there is Rama alone here. There are thousands of people on the other side. So ekam sahasraihi bahubihi tada drishtva, having seen this sort of an arrangement, where on one side you have Rama, and the other side you have thousands of them, on seeing these, visheduhu, deva gandharvaha paramarshayah siddhascha visheduhu. They have that confusion as to what is going to happen. Then, a little later, there is an answer to that in a little later. Asankyo yastu ramasya sayakaschapa mandalat vinishpeturati ogra rakshah pranapaharinah. Asankyayaha, countless. Sankhya is count. Asankhya is countless. You can't count. Too large number of them. Asankyayaha, two, indeed, two is used to in Sanskrit to say indeed. To, he, all these are used, but they are also using it here because anushtup, there may be one akshara less for anushtup, put a tu. So it becomes he. Yada he dharmasya glanir bhavati. He is not required there. Na is enough. Nahi is not required. Put sometime nahi rakshati dugrinch karanidar. Maybe for the purpose of these are all, so tu is indeed, is just emphasizing, adding to it. Asankyayastu ramasya sayakas chapa upamandalat. Sayakas cha upamandalat. Apamandalat. Sorry, apamandalat. So it is mandala is actually a circle. Mandala means circle, actually. So Rama looks like he has some very unique ways of using the bow. The moment we say bow, we think it is linear, and then they put it like that. Here there are different formations. Valmiki explains actually. Valmiki explains 2-3 different formations. One is, I don't know how he makes it like a cycle, like a circle. He has created this like a circle, and maybe there is a multiple. I do not know what exactly it means. Maybe there are multiple arrows that he can, play with. We have no idea what kind of arrow and a bow we are talking about. He says, combine that, it will generate any kind of. Yeah. Nivishpetuhu. Huh? No, it is. So, Vinishpetuhu, it was just, falling on the other side, just, this thing on the other side. Ativa ugraha. Petuhu ativa ugraha. The rakara is because of the visarga. So, Vinishpetuhu ativa ugraha. They were ferocious. His arrows were rakshaha prana apaharinaha. They were relieving the life of all these rakshasas. Every arrow that was going from Rama was relieving the rakshasas of their life. That is the usage here. This is the power of Sanskrit language. It is actually describing an arrow. This is called Bahuvrihi Samasa. It's so beautiful. Language, Sanskrit has this power. It is actually describing an arrow. And how is it describing? I am talking about an arrow which was very efficient in relieving the life of the Rakshasas. That is how the sloka is. So look at how the language is used. Essentially what he is saying, all of them are killed. That's told like this. The entire message is conveyed through the power of an arrow, and all these become adjective for arrow now. Say Raksha Pranapaharinaha, right? That's what he says. Sayakaha. You have to take it from there. All those arrows are those which relieve the life of the demons. So that is how Valmiki describes this in a nice way. So what happens at the end of 25th Sarga? A vast majority of demons are killed. So there are a few more demons, and then Dushana was remaining. Right? That was the situation. So in this Sarga, and some army chiefs were there. So in this Sarga, actually Rama kills Dushana and all the army chiefs who are all part of that. Rama, the first 16 shlokas are Rama's battle with Dushana. In fact, it is so, he cuts first his two, he destroys his chariot, he cuts both his hands. Ferocious. I mean, when you read it, you find Rama was unleashing high violence because he feels that is required at that point in time. It's very ferocious when you read some of these shlokas, the way he had destroyed, it's very, very ferocious actually. That's what it shows. And so Dushana and his army chiefs were killed. And so Khara now directs others to kill Rama. I mean, slowly Khara is losing his confidence, right? And then whoever Khara sent, the entire consignment of demons are all over. So by this 26th Sarga, everybody is finished except only two people, Khara and Trishira. Trishira is the main army chief of Khara. Dushana is gone and they remain. That's how very systematically it goes. So how did he sort of go about killing Dushana? Tato Rama susankruddaha khurenasya mahaddanuhu chiche dasamare viraha chaturbis chaturohayan. What did Rama do? Some more detail I am bringing a little bit here and there. Tataha, thereafter, the story is going on. So Tataha, thereafter, Ramaha sa susamkruddaha. See, kruddaha is itself angry. Look at the power of Sanskrit. There are two upasargas here. There are two upasargas, one behind the other. Right? Sankruddaha is samyak kruddaha. Kruddaha itself is angry. Sankruddaha means he is very angry. If you add su, it adds some more power to the anger. That's the power of Sanskrit. Some upasargas, if you add, it only makes it, upasarga, another important rule of upasarga is balad anyatra naiti. There is one sutra which says upasarga has the power to take the original root verb elsewhere. Actually. Why? Because gachati, you put agachati and then you reverse the meaning. Upagachati, avagachati, nirgachati, right? Sangachati. So many things are there. Upasargas are the most powerful elements of Sanskrit language. So he has put some is upasarga, su is another upasarga. No, it only adds it even more. Essentially, what you need to understand is his anger is unlimited. That is the message coming here. Kruddaha is enough. Sankruddaha, he is very angry. Susankruddaha, he is ferocious. That is how it is conveying. Swagatam. See, gach dhatu, gatam. You add one upasarga a and becomes agatam. Then su agatam, swagatam. Then add one more su, suswagatam. These are all emphasizing it and making it so somebody comes with full heart, you have to welcome. No, that's a suswagatam. Look at the bhava of the language. Suswagatam means there is so much of bhava with which you are so happy. Please come. That's the language, Sanskrit. So there are two upasargas here, su and sam, which makes it a very, very strong emphasis of his anger. So he says, susam kruddaha asya kshurena, with his. He doesn't have a knife. Rama has only bow. What you had inferred from me is his bow is like an arrow, like a sword. It's so sharp and so efficient in finishing the job. That is the meaning. Asya kshurena mahaddanuhu chicheda. He destroyed it. Samare sicheda. Well destroyed it. What? Viraha chaturbis chaturohayan. Right? Virascha. So that Dushasana's chariots, 4 horses, no, Haya is horse. So 4 horses, he used 4 arrows and finished it. One for each horse. Finished. He says, Viras Chaturbis Chaturohayan. Oh, Virasya Mahaddanu. His thing is destroyed. His bow is destroyed, actually. Chicheda, Asya Virasya Mahaddanuhu Chicheda. Then also Chaturbis Chaturo Hayan. 4 more arrows, he finished 4 more. Systematically he'll kill Dushana. Just see how it goes. Then next sloka. Hatva Chashwan Sharai Stikshnaihi Ardachandrena Sarate Shiro Jahara Tad Rakshaha Tribir Vivyada Vakshasi. Now what did he do? Hatvacha Ashwan, right? After killing the horse, because with 4 arrows he killed the 4 horses. So Hatvacha Ashwan Sharaihi Tikshnaihi Ardachandrena. He used semi, Ardachandra sort of this thing. With that, Sharatehe Shiraha Jahara. He said, now I have finished your horses. Now I will finish your Parthasarathi now. Your Sarathi now. I will finish that Sarathi of your this thing. So he finished him. Ardachandrena Saratehe Shiraha Jahara. Okay. That is the next he did. Then what he did? He did Tat Rakshastribihi Vivyada Vakshamsi. With 3 more arrows, he pierced the chest of Dushana. The next thing he did. I mean, it's all very fierce. If you read, you find he is very angry. He is very, very angry. And he says finally why he is angry. All these, finally he killing Khara, he says, why did I do all these to you? He's coming finally. Then, Tasya Bipatamanasya Dushanasya Saragavaha Dvabhyam Sharabhyam Chicheta Sahastabaranau Bujau. Now, what he did, first he destroyed the chariot. I didn't bring those slokas. He destroyed the horses. He destroyed the chariot. He destroyed the charioteer. He destroyed his bows and brought him to the ground. First he brought him to the ground. Now what he is doing to him? That is what is coming. Yeah, I'm skipping some slokas in between. He says, Tasya Abhipatamanase. He is falling from the chariot. So, Katam. Everything has been removed from him. Tasya Abhipatamanasya Dushanasya. The Abhipatamanaha Dushanaha. One he is falling is Dushana. So, Tasya Abhipatamanasya. Again you see, Patamanasya is enough. Abhi. See, Jnana, Abhijnana Shakuntalam. Abhi means good or well. So, the fellow is falling for sure. That is the Upasarga here. Abhipatamanasya Dushanasya Saha Ragavaha Dvabhyam Sharabhyam. He took 2 arrows. He took 2 arrows. Dvabhyam Sharabhyam Chicheda. He cut. What did he cut? Both his hands. That's what he says. Sahas, Abaranau Sah, actually. Sahastabaranau Bujau. His hands are all well adorned. He said, take it off. I will now remove that also. With 2 arrows, he removed his 2 arms of Dushana, which was adorned with all jewels and so on. He finished that also. That is what this 13th sloka is saying. Then, Stulakshasya Kshinitikšnaihi Purayamasa Sayakaihi Dushanasyanugan Pancha Sahasran Kupitakshanat Banoghay Panchasahasraihi Anayat Yamasadhanam. These are all in Sandhi. I am reading, I am doing Sandhi Vicheta actually. It's easy to read. There is one of these fellow called Stulaksya. His eye, Stulakshasya Akshini Tikshnaihi Sayakaihi Purayamasa. He filled his eye with sharp arrows. I'm not able to imagine this scene. I mean, it only shows he is very, very ferocious. He is very, very angry.
Like Arjuna hitting the eye.
No, he is filling the eye with so many arrows. So he says, Stulakshasya Akshini Tikshnaihi Sayakaihi Purayamasa. It's in present continuous. Purayamasana, he was filling the eye of this demon with arrows. That's how it is saying. It is a present continuous statement actually. Yeah. Then next line it says, Dushanasya Anugan Panchasahasran. There are 5,000 people who are along with Dushana. Dushanasya Anugan followed him. Because initially when they all ran and came to Dushana, the number is 5,000 now, 9,000 is over now, 5,000 is balanced now. Looks like. Dushanasya Anugan Panchasahasran Kupitaha Rama. Rama is very angry. Kupitaha, the Kupitaha is actually Rama is angry. Kupitaha Kshanad, in just a moment, means quickly. Moment means quickly. Kshanad Banogaihi Panchasahasraihi. With 5,000 arrows, he what did it? Anayat. Anayat is the past tense form. Sent them or took them. Nayati, anayati, brings. Anayat. Anayat is past tense. Anayat, Yamasadhanam. He sent them. With 5,000 arrows, he got so angry, and then very quickly he swiftly acted and put 5,000 arrows and finished all these fellows. That's what, see, Rama's power of archery. That's why Ramaha Shastrabratam Aham is what Krishna said. Rama's power, Sugriva had a doubt. That's why in one arrow he pierced 7 trees and showed that's what it is. Explicitly he showed it to him because he couldn't believe that he has such a powerful, archery skills and so on. That's why Krishna said, Rama Shastrabratam Aham. Of all the archers, I am Rama. That's the best in class. That's what in Bhagavad Gita it comes. So in 26 Sarga, all the demons are over. Dushana is part by part over. Progressively, Dushana is finished. That is the situation. Now comes 27 Sarga. Now there is this chief of the army called Trishira. Okay. And all these are, causal name. Maybe this fellow has 3 heads. That's why he's called Trishira. That's why he's called Trishira. A lot of these names are, comes only like that. In Sadhya Upanishad we have Maha Chamasya Pravedayate. Maha Chamasya is Maha Chamasya Apatyam Pumana Maha Chamasya. What is Maha Chamas? The one who had the biggest ladle for doing yajna. Today we say one who has the biggest cell phone. Like that, at that time, in Vedic time, yajna was felt as a great strength of your this thing. So Mahachamas. Mahachamasya Apatyam Puman Mahachamas. So Mahachamasya Pravedayate. There is one mantra like that, no? Like, you will find in Vedic, in Puranas, all names are only Karana names. So Trishira, I'm sure he has 3 names, 3 Shiras. That's why it's called Trishira. Yeah. Shurpanaka means Naka, her Naka. Naka is so big, like a shurpa, which is used for, you clean the dhanya, no? To take the husk out of dhanyas, you use this nice looking. Her Naka is like that, sharp diamond. That's why it's called Shurpanaka. And I was mentioning Shurpanaka's husband is called Vidyut Jihva. Vidyut is lightning, Jihva is tongue. That means this fellow talks Udvekakaram Vakyam, not Anudvekakaram Vakyam. Udvekaram Vakyam. He talks, it will be fire. He'll spit fire. That's why he is called, Vidyut Jihva. Many of the names will be like that. Actually. Anyway, Trishira. So Trishira tells Khara, no, sir, you be there. You useless. I will go and finish. You rest in peace. Who is this? I will go and finish. Even after 13,000, 14,000 people being killed, see, this is what happens to people. Again, these are all important messages. It's not the story. When great calamity is going to strike us, at every possible time when the signal was there for us to read, we will refuse to read. In Yuddha Kanda, you'll see it so powerfully. Ravana had 1,000 ways to escape from his death. He would not. Kumbhakarna, when he was woken up, he did not want to fight. He actually gave a piece of advice. Next class, we will see how Maricha is going to give a piece of advice. Immediately, the Sarga is coming. Ravana was given every opportunity to make good of himself. So when we make great blunders in life, this is what happens. There are every opportunity which is popping up, we refuse it, we ignore it, we fail to see it. It doesn't get blindfolded. We blindfold it. So even after so much of calamity, they are riding on ahankara. They think they are going to finish off. Do you have some common sense? Looks like they don't have, because that sense is gone. That's what happens. So Trishira says, you remain calm, I will go and finish him off. And then Rama actually kills Trishira in the battle. Okay, you come. We have done so many people, you are alone, come. We will do that. He is finished. All the remaining were a few miscellaneous of all retreated. 2 sargas only for Khara. Actually, Valmiki has kept because this is the proof of concept testing for the big war which is going to happen in Lanka. That's how it is. Yeah, proof of concept. Tato hatarata tasmat utpatantam nishacharam bibedaramastam banaihi hridaye sobhavajjatah. What happened to Trishira? How did Rama handle Trishira? Only 20 shlokas, we are at the end. Okay. Tataha, thereafter, he allows him to play a little bit before unleash the final act. Tataha hatarata tasmat utpatantam. He also destroyed his rata. The rata is destroyed. Since the rata is destroyed, the Trishira is falling out of the rata. Right? Hatarata tasmat utpatantam nishacharam. Nishacharaha Trishiraha. So Nishacharam Trishiram. Okay. Nishacharam Bibeda Tam. Tam is also there in the next line. Tam Ramaha Bibeda. He just split him. Sort of. Banehi Hridaye Bibeda, pierced. Right? Vidyati. He sort of this thing in his. And what happened to him? Saha Abhavat Jadaha. He became numb with this thing that he put. It was over. That's what it is saying. He says, Ramaha tam banaihi hridaye bibeda saha abhavat jadaha. He became jada. It hit him like a thunderbolt. So Trishira is gone. Sayakaischa prameyatma samarshastasya rakshasaha shiram syapatayad ramaha vegavad bistri bisharaihi. So after he was numb, to make sure things are over, he did one more thing, Rama. Sayakaihi cha aprameyatma, which is the adjective for Rama. Aprameyatma, who is endless, who is limitless, who is very mighty, and so on. Samarshaha tasya rakshasaha shiran shiran. Actually, in Sanskrit, the nakara with sandhi will actually introduce a makara and a visarga. That's what will happen. That's why im and is has come there. If you do a vicheda, shiran actually, apatayat, he dropped it also. I mean, shoot it down. Ramaha Vegavadbihi tribihi shirai. Because there are 3, no? Trishira hai na. That's why Shiran is, in Bahuvachana, and he uses 3 arrows and finishes the 3 heads. That's what he says. I mean, it's very difficult to read. So I didn't bring all of them. Little bit I am bringing because I want to tell you Rama was very, very angry. That is why he took his arrows at that time. Despite Sita saying don't do it. Because Rama was angry that, this is Avatara Purusha Mahima. Yada yada dharmasya glanihi bhavati. Right? Tada atmanam srijamiham. Right? That's what he says. No? Same. The rule is not different. When there's so much of adharma going, Rama will fix it. Abhyuttanam dharmase tada atmanam srijamiham. Paritranaya sadhunam. They came and requested him. They said, please protect us. There is a lot of nonsense going on here. Please protect us. Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha dushtutam. Same thing. This is Avatar Purusha's, main action actually. I am bringing it. You remembered, I'm bringing it. So in the 28th Sarga, All these people, Trishura is over, Dushana is over, all the demons are over. Now remaining is Khara. Khara. So there is a great combat between Khara and Rama. Khara approaches Rama for a final combat. Then, all these warfare are all described there. Then at one stage, what Khara does is Khara destroys the bow and the arrow that Rama had and inflicted a little damage on him. Then Rama took what Agastya gave. Just now Agastya gave him. A few sargas back we saw. Agastya gave him Shivadhanush. He took it. He said, okay, now let me take this. He takes that and then uses that and destroy everything that Khara had. He had a mace, he had his chariot, he had everything he destroyed. In fact, there is one shloka and says he used 13 arrows and then he listed what he destroyed using the 13 arrows. I'll bring only that shloka. I'll show you only that. Tatosya yugamekena chaturbhischaturohayan sashtena tu shiras sankhe karasya ratasaratehe tribir trivenun balavan dvabhyamaksham mahabalah dvadashena tu banena karasya sasharam danuhu chitva vajranikashena ragava prahasanniva Trayodashenendra Samaha Vibeda Samare Karam. So there are 13 arrows. Asya Yugam Ekena. First he destroyed his the yoke of the chariot with the first arrow. See, in all these warfare, you have to first get the Raja out of the chariot. That is the Pantha. As long as he is in the chariot, the power is more. The actual act is to. That's why Karna was brought down. Krishna, managed in such a way. Karna was brought down, no, from the chariot. So first the chariot and all those has to be destroyed. You have to make him Nirayudapani. That is the order in which the final act will be created. So Yugam Ekena, the yoke of the chariot with one arrow, he just finished it, right? Chaturbir Chaturohayana. There are 4 horses, use 4 arrows and finish them off. Right? 1 plus 4, 5. Sashtena tu shiraha sanke ratasaratehe. With the 6th arrow, you finish the charioteer. Charioteer is over. 6th ho gaya. Then now he uses 3 more. Okay, 6 plus 3, 9 now. Tribihi trivenun balavan. So this, axle, no? The main pole of the chariot is very strong, so use 3 of them and then he finished that, which means the whole physical structure is now destroyed. Chassis is gone. So the whole thing is destroyed now. Okay. So 9. Then Dwabhyam Aksham Mahabalah. The 2 wheels, right? Used 2 arrows and which means the chariot is now flat, brought flat. So 11 is over. 9 plus 2, 11. Over. Dwadashena with the 12th arrow to Banena, Karasya Sasharam Danuhu. His bow and arrow and all flew away. He took all his other bow and arrow out. Okay. Now one more is there, which is Trayodashena Indra Samaha Bibeda Samare Karam. Right? He pierced his body with the. Yes, he will not die that easily. He's just inflicting 1 damage. That's all. And brought him to next level. So 13 arrows describe the 13 things that are happening. 29 Sarga, this is where Rama speaks, says a few things. He says, first 14 shlokas, Rama reminds to Khara, what are all the things you people are doing? Do you know what are all the things that you are doing? He reminds him before sending him off, once and for all. Rama reminds to Khara that all his past actions will bear fruit now. This is Dharma Prachara. There are 4 or 5 shlokas. They are pure Dharma Prachara. It is not for Khara, it is not for battle, it is not for all these, it is for us. It's all very nicely there. Khara dismisses that also. Khara dismisses both Rama and his words of wisdom and still he brings a mace. And that mace is also decided, he uproots a sala tree and all that is happening. He brings the mace and then Rama destroys that mace also. But there are some few things Rama says, we will see that. 3-4 shlokas we will see. Udvejaniyo bhutanam nishamsa papa karma krit trayanam api lokanam ishwaropi na tishtati. The first thing Rama says, trayanam lokanam ishwara happy. Even that person who is the Lord of the 3 worlds. This our people in power must understand this very much. Our people in power must understand this very well. People at power at every unit of their existence, not only I am talking of political power, people at every unit of power that they are, inflict their own things. They should understand this. So he says, Trayanam api lokanam ishwara api na tishtati, even he will not remain. Why? Such, he is talking about only such people. Which people? In the first line. Second line says, Trayanam api lokanam ishwara api na tishtati. He will not stay. He will go. Why? Udvejaniyaha bhutanam rishamsaha papam akrit. Karma, papa karma krit. Those who inflict in wrong things. Nishamsaha, violence. Right? Bhutanam rishamsaha. He never said, look at what Valmiki is saying. He is not saying Manushyanam Nishamsaha, Bhutanam Nishamsaha. We have to coexist in this world. Somehow the Western thinking has given a superior position to human being, and we are all more or less, our value systems are developed like that. We think that we can inflict any kind of damage other than us. You cannot attack human beings. Rest of the all allowed. I don't know where from this idea. It's a very unsustainable idea. You can attack and destroy anything except human beings. I don't know where from this idea comes. It is so steep into us. I have narrated this story long back in my Gita lecture, but I won't narrate this because we are deep into it. We don't realize it. One day I was walking from my house to the office. I was just walking. As I was walking, from that distance, I was seeing one of my colleagues was very sort of little rattled a little bit, I would say, or anxious or whatever. He was giving some instruction to the security guard. That was what I was noticing from a distance. He was very restless, sort of, and he told something to this. I was watching from a distance. I am also coming. So by the time I came, I got very curious because he was a little rattled. I asked, what is the issue? Then the security told me, 2 monkeys have come into the 100-acre complex, walled campus. 2 monkeys have come in. So this gentleman tells he is so restless. No, chase them out. No, you chase them out. I think it will create trouble. This is the level. If we have our advertisement also tell us only that if you have cockroaches, you have what is called hit. As though that living being has no value. I mean, we are so steep into it. If you have ants, you have Lakshman Rekha or some powder you put. And see, in Cochin, I was living for 2 years alone. So one day, I was not using the kitchen that much because I need a little part of the kitchen. I just cook a little bit. So there are so many shelves. One day, just out of curiosity, sometimes I love boring. No? I opened one of the morning time. I was just curious, what is this there? I opened it. I found something dark there. I don't know what it was. I just little closely looked at it. There are so many of these big black ants there. Because I think there was no sort of action. Actually, I think I opened and I put some washing. I thought let me keep it here. That's why I think I opened. I opened and then put it in the first shelf. The second shelf, there was a nice pattern, black color. Very closely I looked at it. So many ants were there. So my surround mate was there. She asked, what is this, sir? I said, there are so many ants here. Out of sheer helping me, she thought she is going to help me. She brought one broomstick and started massacring them. I said, don't do this. You don't have to. I first stopped her. I said, if you want, you catch it in a paper, they will, moment you disturb it, will all run. You catch it in a paper, just leave it out. Why are you killing it? And she didn't mean to be violent. Our value system is so stupid. Into this feeling that we are superior, all other things are irrelevant. Whereas Indian thinking is not like that. That's why Valmiki uses the word Bhutanam. He never used Manishyanam. He did not even use Praninam. Prani, if you say, then animal kingdom. You will leave the plant kingdom. Bhutanam means it is everything which is made of the Panchabhutas. It is the organic creatures of this world. That is what you will see in our scriptures. This is the highest level of peaceful coexistence and sustainability and all that we are talking about, mutual dependence. So he says, Udvejaniya, right? These people are all to be sorted out. Why? Because Bhutanam Nishamsaha Papa Karma Krit. By that they were slighting the people, no? Udvejaniya is one who is slighted, and all those people will have to go one day. Rama says, you people have to go. You may be the Lord of the Lord. If you are doing anything which is adharmic, your days are over. Please understand that. It's the first thing he says. Second, karma loka viruddham tu kurvanam kshanadachara tikshnam sarvajano hanti sarpam dushtamivagatam. Kshanada is the anonym for night. Nisha. Nisha is night. Kshanada is night. So Nishachara and Kshanadachara. These are the descriptions of Rakshasa. They looks like they wake up in the night and then go here and there and do all kinds of mischief, I think. Perhaps that's why they are called Nishachara and Kshanadachara. So the Kshanadachara is in Sambodhana. Hey Kshanadachara. He is now telling Khara. Oh Khara. Right? Karma loka viruddham kurvanam. Those who do against the laws of what has to be done, which is those who go against the cardinal principles of Dharma, right? You know what will happen? I will tell you. Sarva Janaha, they will not keep quiet. They may appear there, they are keeping quiet. They will not keep quiet because this is unsustainable. That's the point. What you have done is unsustainable. You are going to reach your end now. Your sustainability paradigms were bad. You're going to be lost today. So he says, Tikshnam Sarpam Dushtam Iva Agatam. If there is a deadly poisonous snake comes, what will you do? You will finish it off first. Because it will create such a harm to a large population of people, you will finish it off. Correct? That will happen. That is what is going to happen. He says, Karma Loka Viruddham Karma, which means work, things that you do which are not contemporary community standards by any stretch, which are adharmic, such things will come back to you. People will wait for finishing you. I was just hearing one pravachana, one of my famous Tamil old time, Tamil pravachaka. So he very nicely used to say, when Ravana was there in his courtyard, all these learned, pandits and rishis, when Ravana gives Akshata, they put Akshata and say, when is this fellow going to die? They murmur like that. He is bringing this point. They will wait. Anything which is adharmic will find its end. So he jokingly used to say that they will put Akshata and with Ashirvada, when are you going to go? That should not happen. That happens when you are very adharmic. That's what he is saying. So there is a second thing which he said. Lobat papani kurvanaha kamadvo yona buddhyate brashta pashyati tasyantam brahmani karakadiva. There is one lizard, red lizard. It's called Brahmani. That's a word. It's a variety of lizard called red lizard. Apparently, when it eats something, there is a certain stone. This karaka is a certain color. They call it a hailstone. Okay. That stone, if it unwittingly eats, it will die. It's like a Vesha for that animal. For that animal, it cannot take that. So Valmiki says, that's what it is. You are eating your poison. By doing this, you know what you have done all these years? You have created your end. With total ignorance to Dharma, you are created just like that lizard unwittingly, ignorantly ate and found its end. That is what you are going through. That's the next thing he says. Why it is happening? He says, Lobat papani kurvanaha. Out of greed, you people get into wrongdoings. It happens in this world. We don't need Khara and all that. These are all about our life. Lobat papani kurvanaha atava kamadva. That's why in Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, Krishna says there are 3 doors to hell. These are, three narakadwaram. He says these 3 are your doorways to hell. Krishna says in chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita. Kama and Loba. Kamadva. Right? Such people, yaha na buddhyate, he doesn't know. He may do, but he doesn't know. What he doesn't know, right? That brashtaha pashyati tasya antam. He will destroy himself. He will find his own end. He will become a brashta, means finished. He will become impure and then he will finish himself, just like a red lizard unknowingly eating its stone and it will die. So therefore he says that you have created your end. Nobody is responsible. You created with so much of mischief that you did. All these apply to Ravana also. All these apply to every Asura you read in every Purana. You will find the same pattern. The details may differ, the pattern is the same. So he says, Lobat papani kurvanaha, kamadvayo na buddhyate, brashtaha pashyati tasya antam, brahmani karakadiva. Then he says, Nachiram papa karmanaha, krura loka jukupsita, aishwaryam prapya tishtanti, shirna mula ivadrumaha. If anybody in the world, these are very nice ways of describing. If anybody in the world, knowingly or unknowingly, particularly knowingly, engage in all acts of bad things, adharma, dharma viruddha, and all that, Valmiki says, it is like a tree which has a spoiled root already. One day it will fall. That is the word he uses. The tree has lost its roots. The roots have already destroyed. It may look like a grand tree out of the surface. Its destruction, the time ticker has started already. The timer has already started. The day you started all these, the timer has already started because the roots are gone. That's the next example he gives. He says, Shirna mula ivadrumaha. The mula, the roots are all shirna. Jirna or shirna, they are ubhayapada only. Shirna and jirna are same. They are all eaten away and gone. Ivadrumaha. A tree, a nice looking tree, has a rotten root. How long? It will one day very quickly. Time has started already. It will fall. That is the example he says. He says, Nachiram papa karmanaha kruraha loka jukupsitaha is a very beautiful word. This is, jukupsa. Jukupsa, it's something called pipasa. In Sanskrit, you have this causal form, decided dative form. Pipasa means patum ichati, thirst. Right? And, bubuksha. Bubuksha is bhoktum ichati. Hunger is told as bubuksha. Right? Chikirsha. Kartum ichami. I want to do something. So chikirsha. Jignasa. Jnatum ichami iti jignasa. Jugupsa. You will invoke anger in me. That's called jugupsa. That's what he did, no? He made others feel so bad about him, no? So, by his sinful acts and so on. Jugupsa, but jugupsitaha, those who, it's a very complex construction. Jugupsitaha means ye janaha tasya jugupsa agata. Those are the people who are angry. And you are the one, you are describing him as one who created anger for others. This is how the construction of words are. There are very beautiful construction of words in Sanskrit actually. Jugupsitaha. Those who are all irritated. That's the meaning. Because they are getting angry now. They want to get angry. Jugupsitaha lokaha, loka jugupsitaha, all these people, right? That's what you did. And papa karmana, kruraha, you belong to that category. Those who are all krura, very cruel people. The word cruel came from krura. English word only became cruel, actually. Krura becomes cruel, right? Kruraha, papa karmanaha, jugupsitaha, these people, right? Nachiram aishwaryam prapya tishtanti. That two words you have put it in the second line. Chiram aishwaryam prapya na tishtanti. Whichever way you want to add, you can take it anywhere. Okay? Nachiram aishwaryam prapya tishtanti. Aishwaryam prapya nachiram tishtanti. Aishwaryam prapya chiram na tishtanti. All these are true. They get wealth, but they don't enjoy wealth, they go. Or they don't get permanently wealth. Or they cannot permanently be like that. In whichever way interpreted, all of them are true. Because the root is already rotten. The tree may look very beautiful. The root is already rotten. It's invisible. That's the charm of this shloka. It is invisible. You haven't seen it. But you think everything going is good. Going is not good. Time has already clicked. And Rama said all these and finished him finally. He gave Dharma Prachara not to him. This is for us. I think these are very important upamas. Right? Shirna Mula Iva Drumaha, Karaka Diva Brahmani. These are all Brahmani. These are all very, very important principles. These are all Dharma Prachara that is happening for our sake. Khara is gone anyway. Avashyam labate jantuhu palam papasya karmanah ghoram paryagate kale dhruma pushpamivartavam. Again, he gives another example. He says, when the time comes, it will flower. You cannot stop. A tree, if it is capable of flowering, a flowering tree, 100% will flower. You cannot stop it. Right? Which means, what he is saying is, what is this flowering? It is, over a passage of time, it naturally goes to the next stage of its evolution. That is flowering and then becomes a fruit, and the fruit becomes seed, the seed drops, it becomes another tree. It is a certain evolution. So he says there is this evolution which cannot be stopped. Evolution not in a positive sense, what is movement? So he says, Jantuhu, again Jantuhu avashyam palam labhate. What kasya palam? Papasya karmanah palam. Papasya karmanah palam, goram papasya karmanah. Goram also you have to take it there. Goram papasya karmanah palam jantuhu avashyam labhate. There is no way you have a discount. There is no way you can actually square it up by paying something. See, in Sanatana Dharma, I do not know how many of us are aware. If a person does X amount of wrong things, we'll quantify it as X. He cheats, he does this, he does that, and so on and so forth. And he does Y amount of good things. He builds, Annadana, he does, he helps people for, let us say, studies, education, vivaha, he builds, digs well, right? Actually, the net effect is not X minus Y. That's not how our Sanatana Dharma works. X has to be consumed, Y has to be consumed separately. There are two compartments. It is not a net, and finance professionals will say debit, credit, net of it, finally it is positive, negative. No. Some people think like that. They think, what are, washing the dirty linen, they say, na? Or, these are Western ideas. It has all come into us. We think if we do some wrong things, we can square it up with the right things. Prayashchita, in fact, this karma theory is so deep, only for certain things you can do prayashchita. Certain things are pratyavaya. It has a counter effect. Wherever there is a pratyavaya, you can do a prayashchita. But certain things, they just remain in your books of accounts. Debit balance remains, credit balance remains. Credit balance, you go for a holiday timeshare to heaven and then come back. After you come back, start with your debit balance. So it is inevitable. There is no adjustment possible. It talks about the inevitability of karma phala. Karmasya palam bhavishyat eva. You cannot think of it any other way. All these he told him because he told him, your past is now coming back to you. I am only a nimitta matram bhavasavya sachi. I am just an instrument in the whole process. In fact, that is true of every one of us. I know, I mean, in our own ways, we may go and say, you know, God, you have created, you have been responsible for all my trouble. You know, you have not taken care of all that. We may, here at a certain level, we are saying. The person, a good Vedantin, the person who has a sense of objectivity in thinking, understands every moment of what we are going through is organized by us, not by anybody else. Every moment of what we are going through in our life is organized by us alone. That's why in chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, again Krishna says, Na kartrutvam na karmani na karma palam loke sujati prabhu. Swabhavastu vartate. He says, you did all this. As you sow, you will reap. Western thing they say, no, there's a different meaning here. That you organize your own path. The moment you become wise like that, the moment you understand the wisdom of that, you will start organizing your thing. The credit debit balances start working in a particular way. And we will reach a stage when we will know that the real goal of life is not credit balance, but no balance. Neither credit nor debit. That is the ultimate goal of life. But the path for that is credit balance first. There's a path by which we have to go. So all these are Dharma Prachara. So Rama and Khara, Rama telling Khara a few things are pure Dharma Prachara. That's what he does. He reminds us more than Khara. That's what Valmiki has done. So this is the last sarga for the day for us. Finally, Rama kills Khara. 41 verses. Rama tells Khara, you have become so helpless now. You see, I have brought you to nothingness now. Because he destroyed his mace. Then he brought the sala tree, destroyed the sala tree also. Then he smiled at him and said, you have nothing now. It's all your own making anyway. And about his helplessness, he says, all because of your lowly behavior. Your Nicha Buddhi brought all this. That's what he says. He says, you are going to go now. He gives him advance information. You are going to go now. All you brought in your own ways. Verses 13 to 19, Khara still feels loss of Rama and feels less of Rama. He still feels very less of Rama. Uproots a sala tree, thinking that he will kill Rama. Rama finally kills Khara with the dart given by the Indra. Indra came, just a few sargas back in Aranyakandam. When Rama came to Agastya's thing, Indra quickly came, gave something and went away. So the Siddhas and the 12 slokas they tell, they're all brought only courier delivered to finish this fellow. Like that, there are some slokas which are all being told. Just 2 slokas we will take. Rama's final words before killing Khara. Nichasya kshudrashilasya mityavrittasya rakshasaha pranaham harishyami. Prananaham harishyami. See, this is the charm of the meter. I missed one akshara. The meter did not come. Pranan haram. I said prananam haram. That is why this meter is very important. Prananaham harishyami. Garutmanamritam yata. He says rakshasaha, rakshasasya, rakshasaha. And what are his adjectives? Nichaha. Nichasya. Nichasya rakshasaha. Kshudrashilasya. His deeds, his behavior and culture are all kshudra. Very, very low. Okay? And mithya vrittasya. He committed himself to mithya, not satyam. Falsehood. He didn't know what is the reality of life. Mithya vrittasya, nichasya, kshudrashilasya rakshasaha. Pranan aham harishyami. He tells him, I'll take it out now. Prananaham harishyami. Just as, Garuda took the Amrita. Just like that, he lifted and went. Like that, I will just pick it out from you and then go away. Adyate chinnakandasya pena budbuda bhushitam vidaritasya madbanaihi mahipasyati shonitam. he makes this statement, it was unwarranted. But he makes the statement because he uses exactly the word which Shurpanaka and Khara used. Pena is the proti, soapy, proti kind of a thing. And Shonita is the blood. They said they will drink. No, he says now the Mother Earth will drink. He says now the Mother Earth will drink fresh, foamy. He used the same word here. He says, Adya, now, te, Chinna Kandasya, I am going to knock off your neck. Chinna Kandasya, Pena Budbuddha Bhushitam. He says, your Kanda is now Alankara of foamy thing gushing out. See the amount of cruelty with which he is saying. Vidaritasya Chinna Kandasya. Madbanaihi vidaritasya chinnakandasya. With my arrow, I am finishing it off. Fresh thing will come out of it. Mahipasyati. Mother Earth will take it. You fellows who are wanting to take, Mother Earth will take it. So like that he finishes. It's a little UA. Actually, it is a. But anyway, no. The point is, in the first chapter of, in the first Balakandam, Panchamadhyaya, actually Valmiki asked, is there a human being with 16 qualities? Is there one human being who has these 16 qualities? Then Narada said, yes, here is the Rama. That's why Ramayana story came. These are the 16 qualities. But today what you see is in this episode, first time we are seeing, I was finding it difficult to read. Right? First time in this entire Ramayana, we find there are some which Rama very, very clearly demonstrated. Jata Roshasya Bibhyati. See, he mentioned it sometime back. Karthik mentioned it. See, he says Jita Krodha. Look at that. He is also called Jita Krodha. He can overcome anger. But when anger comes, everybody will be afraid. That is the other attribute of Rama. Jita Krodasya, Jata Rotasya, Jata Roshasya. If his Rosha, goes up, Bibhyati, people will be afraid. That's what he demonstrated today. Jata Roshasya Bibhyati, Viryavan. He showed his entire vitality today. That guna we saw in these episodes. Dharmajna. He did the Dharma. He said, I will do this. Now I don't want to do this, but I will do this because I know Dharma. I have to establish. That's why he told Sita. When Sita argued, no. It's a larger principle we have to work for. Dharmajna. Kritagnya. He knows how to do and what to do. Kritagnya. Right? Satyavakya. He promised all those, don't worry, I will take care. That's why he told Sita, I have given them my promise. I will never go out of my promise. He demonstrated that also. Satyavakya. Dridavratah. He was so clear in his mind the moment he entered into the Aranyakandam from the Bharatashram. At the time itself, he said, this place has to be cleaned up. And he held on to it. Some more are going to go. There are a few more before the Aranyakandam ends. Okay? Dridavratah. Then Samartha. He showed what kind of Samarthya he has. He is very skillful when it comes to it. So I remembered this shloka. He also remembered this shloka. I remembered this shloka. But I remembered that there are so many of his attributes. No, the point is, Valmiki has unleashed so much of violent description because it shows that when Dharma is disturbed, right, Avatara Purushas will not keep quiet. Because that's very reason, the quintessential reason why they came to this earth is that. So they will be full blown. That is what was shown here. It is that dharmasya kanihi glanihi yada bhavati, he will not leave. Every avatar Purusha is like that. That's why it was shown with so much of. So I was being very selective. I didn't bring too many. That itself was a little too much for us. But only to tell that dharma prachara, I think dharma is ultimate. If we shake slightly from that, dharma eva hatohanti. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha, dharma eva hatohanti. I think that is a powerful message that comes. So this part of Aranyakanda brings that sort of a message. The story now moves really very fast because very active things are going to happen. Ravana is arriving in the next sarga itself. They have quickly, Valmiki, how did he get to know all those? I think Ravana is arriving in the next Sarga itself. Again, there is a wonderful description. There is a wonderful description and conversation between Maricha and Ravana. These are all very important for us in life. We will see some nice shlokas are there. I always quote it also very often. In my any of the other classes also, I quote in my regular electives also, I keep quoting some of these shlokas. But we will see. I think we will stop with this today. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyo Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahito Brahmana Santu Nirbhayah Aputra Putrinas Santu Putrinas Santu Pautrinah Adhana Sadhana Santu Jivantu Sharadam Shatam Shinvan Ramayanam Bhaktya Yappadam Padame Bava Sayati Brahmanastanam Brahmana Pujyate Sada Hari Om. Who will do this kind of a prayer? This is our pinnacle of Dharma. He says, Aputra Putrina Santu, Putrina Santu Pautrina. Those who don't have children, let them have children. Those who didn't have child, let them have grandchildren. It says, Adhana Sadhana Santu. People without wealth, let them have wealth. Jivantu Sharadam Shatam, 100 Sharadritu, which means 100 years. It's all only positive thinking. These are all because we are greatly enamored and we are greatly twisting with Dharma. So that's what all these, even these Mangala Shlokas are saying. Thank you. Next week I am in Chennai, so we don't have a class next week. Hopefully the week after next. Yeah. We'll do that. Badrinath Prasadam has come. Please partake the prasadam.